We are all human beings, and there's 8 more billion of us, and we can do something together.
Hello, Ann Marie, Kiah. It's such a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm Olivia. I host a podcast called Dial M for Movies, normally with my co-host Khadijah, but she couldn't join us today. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I did actually have the pleasure of seeing this film at its TIFF premiere back in September. There was a lot of crying on my part, and I really enjoyed my time with the film, so I'm super excited to speak with you both. So I'm just going to jump right in. Anne Marie, my first question is for you. Can I Get a Witness integrates animation into its storytelling in such a striking way? I'm curious what led you to incorporate animation into this film, and was there a specific emotional or narrative purpose that animation allowed you to explore?
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm also an animator, so it's just one of my storytelling tools that I use. But this is a world where um, teenagers who have artistic predilections can become witnesses where they document end-of-life ceremonies. And this is a world where there has to be quite a lot of repression for people to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so I wanted it to show Kia's inner world, like the emotions that she wasn't able to express, and also, art being at time immemorial as a way that we document our life and our passing and our cultures. So it was always going to be part of the storytelling. And the thing that changed was there was originally going to be a lot more because the the um, the act of filming um, for the actors, for the crew, for it was such an emotional experience, and I think that comes across on the screen.
Really?
Right. And then I just thought, oh, we don't need to over explain this, it's just there. Like the feelings are all there. And
Yeah.
so there's just some gentle hints of animation.
Yeah. I really loved it. Animation is one of my favorite forms of media, so I loved it. Kiah, jump into you. One of the most incredible things about your performance is how much is felt even in those really quiet moments, like whether it's isolation, uncertainty, resilience. And this film explores grief in a really unique way, like tying it to environmental collapse and survival. Curious what you hope audiences take away from Kia's experience. Like, do you see her journey as one of hope or reflection or something else entirely?
Yeah, I see it as all of that. I think it's a journey of grief, but then on the other side of it, it is a journey of hope. I think it's a journey that we all go through as humans where you do start to question things once you reach a certain age. And I think she's peak at that age where she's starting to question the system that's been built in front of her. So I think that's something that's really important to sit back and think about your own life and the world that you live in and question certain things. I think to feel confident enough to try to learn more about different things and ask these questions and I think that that's something that I really hope the audience takes away is being able to sit back and see their own life and changes that they would want to make and things that they want to start questioning or learning more about. I think she definitely demonstrates that throughout her
Yeah,
art.
absolutely. Kind of a follow-up, the film touches on like three deeply interwoven themes: grief, climate change, survival, all of which are urgent and personal in different ways, given the state of the world today, especially. How do you hope Can I Get a Witness contributes to conversations about these issues? Either of you can answer.
Oh my goodness. Originally it was conceived as a really fantastical kind of solution that and now because of what's happened with COVID, what's happening with discussions around MAID, what's happening with climate and our experience of it, everything has become more tender, more urgent, more personal. It's not just an idea. We're all experiencing these. And I wanted to talk about grief, about climate grief, about, like death, and that how they are just intertwined. They're the same thing, this anticipatory grief for something that we fear is going to end. And one day it will.
Yeah.
So, so, um, so yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, like Do you see this kind of more
Oh,
as like a
the
cautionary?
space. I
Yeah,
really want a conversation. This is a climate
yeah,
action for me. It's a climate action. This is not a proselytizing film. It says a lot of things that I hope you disagree with, and
yeah,
I want you to talk about it regardless of where you come from. Where you come from, like everybody enters a film differently from where they are and what they know. And I want to show like the kindness in this film that people are willing to give to each other, that it's possible to have conversations where we can move forward, because we are all experiencing the same things. Like we are all human beings, and there's 8 more billion of us, and we can do something together.
yeah,
We breathe together, we eat together, and we die together, and we can do other things together too
yeah.
that help all of us.
Amazing. Um, Seeing the dynamic between Sandra Oh and yourself, Kira, I obviously Sandra Oh is amazing and an incredible force on screen. And your dynamic in this film has so much depth to it. I'm wondering what it was like to work with her. Like, did she offer you any advice or mentorship that helped shape your performance?
Yeah, she was such a dream to work with. And I think it was the perfect project too, because it was so well written in their relationship that, it didn't take a lot of work to really understand why they had such a strong bond because it was right there in the story. And working with Sandra, who I love comes from a theater background as well. So for me, who came from a theater background, it was really interesting to see how we approached stories in the same way and where she did something that I was inspired by to carry in with my own personal work as well. And she was just so gracious and open and willing to talk about little things like what do these characters make for lunch or like what do they grow in their garden? Like things like that that I think really, as a human, that's what builds your personality. So going into characters, I really appreciated that we both had that same approach too. So yeah, she was just an absolute dream to work with and was really, really open to collaborating and allowing me to be vulnerable, which was everything I could ask for and more.
Amazing. Love that. And Anne Marie, you and Sandra have worked together before on Window Horses, which was such a beautiful and heartfelt project. What was it like reuniting with her for this film? And how did your collaboration evolve?
Uh, it was a different Sandra on this film. I mean, it didn't just, she was an incredible producer and amplifier for Window Horses as well as being the lead voice. In this film, it was all of her. Like as an acting experience, it's very different on
Mm,
camera and just a voice. But also in the 8 years between the time we'd worked together, she had become more, she wanted to be more involved in the creative process, in the writing process. She had, a lot of, so we did a lot more back and forthy, and she's so, it doesn't matter if it's an animated character or, a live action character, she approaches it the same way, granularly. She wants to know everything. She wants to know everything about this person and why everything is said and everything is felt. It's just it was a real collaboration, I'd say.
amazing. Okay, so finally, since our podcast is called Dial M for Movies, we do like to have a fun segment we call Movie Speed Dial. So we'll give you a category and you give me the first movie that comes to your mind, and you can both answer for each of them. So the first one is a movie you dial up when you need a good laugh.
Zoolander.
Oh my God. Yeah. Actually, me too. That's a good comfort movie for sure.
So true. A movie you dial up that's lesser known but a personal favorite.
Oh gosh. I don't rewatch.
Really?
I don't rewatch. Um, but I got to say that one of the films that really touched me at the time, and that was a nobody else agreed, was One from the Heart, Coppola's film One from the Heart.
Yes. Interesting. Kira, any
Can't
personal
pinpoint
favorites?
it. So like popular that like, even when I think I found something niche, I've realized that like everyone's been knowing about this for years.
That's
So
so fair. A movie you dial up with a score or soundtrack that you could listen to on repeat.
Oh, Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good one.
It's in it
Oh,
and In the Mood for Love. Oh my God, I love
oh,
that
I was
sound.
gonna say In the Mood
I
for Love.
love that soundtrack. Oh my God.
Oh, I was just
Yeah.
talking about that soundtrack like 2 days ago.
Really?
That was my answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. A movie you dial up that was released in the last year or two.
I love Past Lives.
Yeah,
Was that
Yeah,
that works.
2023, I
that?
think.
Yeah.
Oh, past lives, happy days. You know what? I think, I know the Academy Awards are over and everything, that if you want a good movie experience, not like just a good movie experience, you don't have to think that hard, but it will broaden your world. I think you should see A Complete Unknown, which was like super joyful to watch.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, seeing Timothy's performance in that was
Yeah.
amazing. And then finally, a movie that's your all-time favorite and you'll stick by no matter what.
My favorite changes every single day.
Yeah.
Um, every movie I watch, I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite. You know? I don't know if I can answer that.
It's okay. That
Oh
is
my,
fair.
oh my God, it's true. I hate to say one thing. I hate
I
to say
know.
I
there's
do
so
like
many.
the letterboxed lineup of you get four.
Yeah.
But all right.
Oh, oh wow. Can I just say, I'm just going to say something just at the second because everybody in the world should see Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%. Those are all my questions, but thank you so, so much for your time today. It was such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you for talking to us about our film.